Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Zombie Box Reviews. Go get your beauty sleep, brother. It's all good. We're chilling. We're chilling. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get through it. Just whatever time I have, and hopefully tomorrow we can end this dreadful, dreadful journey of a stream. Cause I hate reading this stuff. But Junie, welcome. Tell people keep sharing the stream. Some are catching on. Thank you. Thank you. Your mom's house. All good. All good. Yeah, a slight update from yesterday. Mom's all fine. No problems. Well, there are issues. Her health isn't like in the best, but she's home now. She's fine. She's gonna focus on her health. I'm gonna start training her like I did back in the day, and it'll help me get back in the gym too. So yeah, she's scared the crap out of me. Brought her some soup today, but it's all good. Hi from Aussie, Nicole Gardner. What's up? Hope things are good in Australia. All right, let's jump right to it. Let's get the show on the road. All right, I'm not exactly sure where. Oh, I think it was photo and video release. That's where we were. So let's get to it, man. Let me get my water. Okay, thanks for everybody for being on the stream. We will get back to more fun streams. I'm gonna mingle the Bricks and Minifigs streams in with the streams about movies and TV shows and nerd news, whatever. Like I love talking about the stuff I like talking about. But yeah. Okay. Photo/video release. Franchise acknowledges that and authorizes franchisor to use its likeness in a photograph in any and all of franchise's publications, including printed and digital publications and on websites. Franchisee agrees and understands that any photograph or video using franchisee's likeness will become franchisor's property and will not be returned. Franchisee agrees and irrevocably authorizes franchisor to edit, alter, copy, exhibit, publish, or distribute any photograph of franchisee for any lawful purpose. Franchisee agrees and waives any right to royalties or any other compensation related to franchisor's use of any photograph or video of franchisee. Franchisee agrees to hold harmless and forever discharge franchisor from all claims, demands, and causes of action with franchisee may have in connection with this authorization. 7-Eleven Aussie is doing the same corporate takeover or location similar to Bricks and Minifigs. Yeah, so 7-Eleven, I don't know if you knew this, 7-Eleven is the biggest franchise company in the world. The absolute biggest. Or at least they used to be. But I think McDonald's was second, maybe? Maybe it wasn't. I think McDonald's might have been third, but there was a time, for a long time, 7-Eleven. And it does make sense for hostile takeovers to happen. Churring is what's weird. And I don't know if it's similar to this. You might know more than me, Nicole. But they screwed me over and screwed a lot of people over pretty damn hard. Pretty damn hard. Okay. But we'll get to it. We'll get through it. All right. Man, I'm already bored. Can't believe you guys are here. Can't believe it. Restrictive covenants. Confidential information. Franchisee acknowledges that it will obtain knowledge of proprietary matters, methods, techniques, and business procedures of franchisor that are necessary and essential of the operation of the franchisee, without which franchisee could not effectively operate such business, including, without limitation, knowledge regarding the system, distinctive products, vendor and supplier relationships, promotional programs, build out specifications, decor and signage, POS systems, software, advertising, and marketing materials, customer service standards, and business strategies necessary for the operation of the store, and the operation manual. Franchisee further acknowledges that all confidential information was not known to franchisee prior to execution of this agreement, and that the methods of franchisor are unique and novel to the system. Franchisee acknowledges that confidential information shall also include, but not limited to, yo, Retsutsu Ronin, it's always good to see you, brother. Or woman, I don't know. But not limited to, one, any person or entity which has been or become franchisees of the system and any investors. Two, any person or any investors therein. Any person or entity which have been or becomes customers of Bricks and Minifigs store. Three, the terms and negotiations relating to past or current franchise agreements with respect to the system. Four, you guys bored yet? The operating procedures of the system, including without limitation purchasing strategies, merchandising techniques and methods, safety procedures, usage of software, and cost and pricing strategies, product knowledge and specifications, inventory management and tracking of products and supplies, contracts, forms, and waivers, bookkeeping, financing, and accounting systems and procedures, advertising, promotional and marketing methods, standards for hiring staff, training procedures, the manufacturers and list of vendors and suppliers. 5. The economic and financial characteristics of the system and franchisees, including without limitation pricing, policies, revenues, sales, training, profitability, earnings and losses, and capital and debt structures. 6. The product and services offered to customers of a Bricks and Minifigs store, including without limitation the scope of services performed and services refused, and all documentation of the information listed in Section 9.A, including without limitation our training program and operations manual during the term of this agreement and at any time following the expiration or termination of this agreement. Franchisee agrees to divulge directly or indirectly any confidential information without the prior written consent of franchisor. Nothing contained herein shall be construed so as to require franchisee to divulge any secret processes, techniques, formulas, or the like collectively and confidential information. Confidential information will also include anything we designate as confidential. For Pink Queen, is this your first time here? How you doing? Awesome, been watching your videos and finally caught you while you're live. Love hearing your insights and yes, even the franchise agreement. LOL. I'm glad you like it because I hate it. But thank you. Thanks for being here. Truly appreciate it. I'll tell you guys just to break the monotony of reading a contract. I'll tell you guys a story, which I just told on Echo Base Network. It's a great little story. My mom, bless her heart, as you guys know in the previous stream, I had to end it, and she was in the emergency room, but now she's fine. But here's a good little story for you guys. So, it has to do with Brandon. Brandon at the store, right? They already took it over. Me, my mom, my dad, we were all still thinking that there's negotiations to be had or whatever. And she comes over. Brandon's at the store. She's yelling at me for something because it doesn't matter your age. You know, you're always gonna be the kid to your mom, right? Simple stuff. She is telling me to listen to my wife and all that stuff in Portuguese. Then she turns to Brandon, and she said, and like, hasn't even introduced herself to the guy yet. And she's like, and you listen to your wife too, or I cut off your balls. And then she just walked away. I love her. Love her to death. Awesome. And at this point, she might. If she sees him, she might. Just saying. It's a high possibility. Franchise further acknowledges that former Bricks and Minifigs franchises, those whose franchise agreements have expired or been terminated, are no longer permitted to have access to or knowledge of any confidential information, and that approved attention must be found by franchisee to not continue to discuss or share any confidential information with such former franchises. Interesting. Bless your mom. Oh, Nicole Garner, my mom sounds awesome. Hey, real old bird. Welcome in. Welcome. Yeah, my mom is the best. I think I told you guys about The time I got in trouble at school and she tackled my principal or the vice principal, and then like told the cop to f off, and he went and like just sat in in the principal's office just waiting for her to stop chewing me out. Good times, good times. Yeah, she's the best. In term covenants, you agree to cause any entity owner, a franchisee is an entity, and each other restricted person during the term of this agreement not to have any direct or indirect interest in a competitive business or perform services of any type as an owner, director, officer, employee, consultant, representative, or agent, or in any capacity in any business in which Lego only brand products constitute more than 20% of its revenues, or any franchisor or licensor of the same. Remember, it says in any business in which Lego only brand products constitute more than 20% of its revenues. Competitive businesses. The restrictions of this section and the definition of competitive business will not apply to 1. The ownership of shares of a class of securities listed on stock exchange or traded on the over-the-counter market that represent 2% or less of the number of shares of that class of securities issued and outstanding, or to the ownership or operation of other Bricks and Minifig stores that are licensed or franchised by us or any of our affiliates. Further, you agree during the term of this agreement that you shall not hire any employees who within the immediately preceding 6 months was employed by the company or any other franchisees or licensee of us without obtaining the prior written permission of us or the franchisee or licensee pursuant to the agreement. And we kind of went over this a little bit. We also went over like in California, there's certain states with laws like California where they consider it like indentured servitude, practically like slavery, where if somebody quits, like this is mainly like don't poach other employees, right? But in certain states, it'll be like, no, if you had a Bricks and Minifigs, you left Bricks and Minifigs and opened up your own store, you can still hire all the employees, depending on the state, if they all quit that Bricks and Minifigs to go to your store. You know? And then the other thing is, one of the reasons, your Scripture Assembly, it's good to see you. One of the reasons why Bricks and Minifigs could or could not fail after the reckless ban situation, because in the contract, as I've stated before, Bricks and Minifigs might own other businesses. I don't know if they do or not, but they might own other businesses that operate exactly like a Bricks and Minifigs, where they have things in place where it's practically a Bricks and Minifigs just with a different name. So who's to say that they won't rebrand all Bricks and Minifigs franchisees, or their own own corporate locations into some other company of a different name, but is just Bricks and Minifigs hiding under a different name. That's one way that they could trick everybody. Marketing and advertising. Local marketing fund, LMF. You must spend for local advertising and promoting your store those amounts we periodically establish currently. The amount is a minimum of 3% of franchisees' monthly gross revenue each month. So pretty much like you got your royalty, you got your advertising fee, and then you got your LMF, your local marketing fund. That's 3 different types of payments you need to make. You need to prove that you're making to Bricks and Minifigs. Okay, so at least 9% of whatever you make is not going to go into profit. Obviously, marketing is great. Well, you should even invest more if you can. But yeah, like a lot of people don't calculate this, which is weird. I've seen a lot of franchise owners not calculate this. Just think of the marketing fund as another expense, another bill that you have to cover. It's crazy. You must spend franchising fees monthly gross revenue each month. The amount spent on local advertising and promotion will be designated as local marketing funds (LMF) and is in addition to your 1% contribution of the national marketing fund. At our request, you shall furnish us with copies of invoices and other documentation evidencing your compliance with Section 10A if we determine at some later date that you have spent an amount less than 3% of gross revenue, we may collect the LMF. This is actually a good point to point out. The LMF fund that they're talking about, they never, ever asked for any evidence of invoices or compliance of where I was putting the money into marketing. Funny enough, like it just shows that they're very sloppy, they're very disorganized, and it's kind of like I've made my criticisms of Crystal, but again, she was trained by corporate, so even if she was her books were a little weird or like was looked disorganized, that is corporate training organization in real time. So if you disagree with how she was doing things, you also probably would see that like, hey, she was a GM for corporate location. Like I'm guessing that she thought she was doing the things correctly the way corporate likes things to be done. So that's another way of looking at it. I can't confirm, but yeah. LMF contribution directly. If we change the amount of LMF you must spend, we shall provide you with not less than 30 days notice of said change. The LMF monies will be used to pay for the cost of implementing local marketing plans developed by you and approved by us. For those purposes, qualifying LMF expenditure include amounts contributed to Advertising Association, amounts spent for grand opening advertising and promotional programs pursuant to Section 4E, amounts spent by you for advertising media such as television, radio, internet, newspaper, billboards, posters, direct mail, collateral and promotional items, and advertising on public vehicles, transit, and aerial, and if not provided by us, the cost of producing approved materials necessary to participate in these media. Pink for Pink Queen. I get contracts suck but are so important. I was happy to hear you negotiated your agreement. Most people just sign without an attorney reviewing. Yeah, that's insane. Like you should any contract that comes to you, you should always find a way to better your situation, regardless if it sounds great. If it sounds like it's all on your side, let's say the lawyer's like, yeah, this sounds like a good contract. Cool. Let's make it even better. That's how business should go. Thank you. I would been sooner, but I had had to water plants, and I was listening to civil rights lawyer. Word. Yeah. What are the rules about hiring and employing that worked for a different BAM location previously? Yo, don't. Don says hi. Don who? Don who? Wait, Domnarius? Who are you, dead user? Are you Eddie? So the rules about hiring an employee that worked for a different BAM location, we read it yesterday, I think. Okay, the rules are: first, you must contact corporate. If it was like a corporate employee, if it like there's a lot of things that could be, depending on corporate or franchise employee. It's better to also talk and connect with the other Bricks and Minifigs owners if it's from their store. Like, and that's just normal for any franchise. Is like if you own a location and this guy is coming from a different location, and they apply or have an interview with you, it's just better for you to inform them like, hey, one of your employees just interviewed with us, and I'm thinking about hiring him. And then it could be a whole other thing. You can't poach. You can't actively go and try to get somebody else's employee that is connected to the same franchise, right? So there's language there. If they're a manager, it's different too because they've looked over the operations manual. So if they were fired, you have to inform corporate immediately. If they want to go be a general manager for another location, you also have to inform corporate. Anything with a general manager or assistant manager, you got to inform corporate practically. But yeah. Elaine Martinez, bikini bodybuilder. Heck yeah, let's just see you back here again. I'm going to get back into bodybuilding. You just watch. Watching Mexico kick at, but you're in the background. All right. Heck yeah. Oh, who's Mexico going against? Man, I was hoping Mexico would go against the U.S. Um, pretty soon, but I don't think they're in the same bracket, are they? Let me know. Let me know who's. I didn't keep up with Mexico or Portugal or the U.S. I've been keeping up with Brazil and Korea because my wife's Korean and I'm Brazilian. So those are our teams. Korea's out, by the way. National Marketing Fund, NMF. This is the corporate side. By the way, I never understood how they did their stuff because it was like I couldn't see how it ever benefited their national marketing fund to individual stores or local. And I understand, but I want every dime I'm putting into benefit my spot. You know what I mean? I don't care about anybody else's location. I want the monies. In addition to the advertising and promotional expenditure and or contributions required by Section 10A hereof, by the way, everybody like and subscribe. You shall contribute to a national marketing fund, NMF, an amount equal to 1% of the monthly gross revenue starting on the first full calendar and month after the opening date of your business. We may raise, discontinue, or reduce the contribution in our discretion. I need to know who Dead User is. Now I'm intrigued. The NMF contribution is to be received by the franchisor on or before the 10th day of each month. For the prior month, the NMF will be used for ongoing technology and new product development and such national advertising or public relations program as we, in our sole discretion, may deem appropriate to promote the Bricks and Minifigs brand. The NMF may also be used for local franchisee group advertising or marketing and franchising adversary council expenses, local, regional, national, or international advertising or marketing, administration of advertising and the marketing, including salaries, accounting, collection, legal, and other costs, related expenses, any media or agency costs. We will direct all such programs and will have sole discretion over the creative concepts, material endorsements, and media used in such programs, and the placement or allocation of such programs. We reserve the right to determine in our sole discretion the composition of all geographic territories and market areas for the implementation and development of such programs. Stores owned or operated by franchisor will contribute to the same basis to the fund. We may spend on behalf of the NMF in any fiscal year an amount greater or less than the aggregate contribution of Bricks and Minifigs franchisees in that year, and the NMF may borrow from us or others to recover deficits or invest in a surplus for future use. Didn't know that. Maybe I would have taken some franchising that year. NMF may borrow from us. Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind. Any NMF contributions, I thought it was something else, not used in fiscal year in which they were contributed will be applied and used for advertising and marketing expenses in the following year. Salt in Exile is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, guys, hope you are all well. I hope you are well too, sir. Okay, advertising approvals. Initial advertising costs. You acknowledge that all advertising and promotional materials will be sourced solely through us. You must submit to us for our prior approval a marketing plan and samples of all advertising and promotional materials not prepared or previously approved by us and which vary from our standard advertising and promotional materials by following the procedures that are in place at the time of submittal. If you elect to work with a marketing firm, including an advertising agency or public relations firm, you must obtain our written approval of this marketing firm, and this marketing firm must sign a Bricks and Minifigs approved confidentiality agreement before you sign any contracts or share any confidential information with this marketing firm. This marketing firm or agency shall not, under any circumstances, be given access to any of our proprietary limited access intract. I might not be able to see that right. What the freak? Including the franchise website. sites, or any other information we deem inappropriate. You may not use any advertising or promotional materials that we have not approved. Franchisee websites. You may not promote, offer, or sell any products or services relating to your store or use of any marks through the internet without our consent. You will agree not to register any internet domain name in any class or category that contains the words bricks and minifigs or any other words contained in our marks or any abbreviation, acronym, or variation of those words without our written approval. Also, you agree to not use any email address or alias that contains the words bricks and minifigs or any other words contained in our marks or any abbreviation, acronym, or variation those words except those we have authorized. Willie, sup G? For Queen. Bam sucks. So Willie says, Bam sucks, and so does that police chief. I can't wait until everyone gets sued. Dream Sigils is back. What is up? My mom is doing all right. She just got back from the hospital this morning. My wife made some soup, and I took her soup and brought the kids over. Well, just two of them. The other one, sleepy time. Over to say hi to grandma. But yeah. And the Havoc, Havoc. Hi, the last relic. What's GTSY? It's a Gatsy. But yeah, she was doing all right. Dream Sigils, thanks for asking. I did tell the story about how my mom told Brandon to his face that she would cut off his balls. So that's a nice little story. It was more innocent than aggressive, but yeah. But she looked him dead in the eye. Bricks and Minifigs website, franchisee portal, social media. We have established and plan to maintain the Bricks and Minifigs website to provide information about Bricks and Minifigs, the franchise, and the products and services in the store offer. Also, oh my gosh, my bad. Also, we will have control over the Bricks and Minifigs website design and contents. We will have no obligation to maintain the website indefinitely and may dismantle at any time. We have the right to modify or discontinue the website or any of its functions if we determine that it becomes visible at any time. We will have no liability or obligation whatsoever with respect to any required modification or discontinuance of the website. Also, we are not obligated to reimburse you for any loss of goodwill associated with any modification or discontinuance of the website. We may include pages on the website that identify participating stores by address and telephone number. We are the sole owners of and reserve the rights to access and use the customer information collected through the Bricks and Minifigs website. You will not have the capability or the right to modify the website. Yeah, way to go, Mom. Yes, she's the best. You go back later? Cool. Even this piece of paper acts like a douche. Agreed. Short text, I'm getting too old. I only do some short text. I got you, man. Yeah. This piece of paper is something I hate, man. Whatever happened to your word and a handshake? Too many dishonest people. We have established and plan to maintain the Bricks and Minifigs interact through which members of the Bricks and Minifigs system may communicate with each other and through which we may disseminate updates to our operation manual and other confidential information. Oh, my Dream Sigils coming in hot with the 5 for Mom. Thank you. This is for Mommy. And Cthulhu ate me. Or Cthulhu ate me? Alright, well, welcome. What is the advantage of a franchise with this company? You pay the labor and they either directly or indirectly own everything. Yeah, they bend you over and don't even give you the courtesy of a reach round. That's their MO right there. Who would sign that garbage? This moron signed that garbage. All right? But honestly, most of the language is very similar to most franchise agreements. It's very similar to many franchise agreements. Look at 7-Eleven's franchise agreements. Look at McDonald's franchise agreements. Um, look at Domino's franchise agreements. So yeah, what a loser. Yeah, that's me. That's me, frogs. And by the way, frogs, welcome, welcome. We're all gonna have a pass. We're all gonna have a past. No, no need to apologize. I was stupid. I was stupid. I was again. You trust in people because that's what a contract really is too. It's like an extension of trust. So of trusting someone. So again, like me and Amin and Matt, I thought we were pretty tight. We played video games together. We talked about movies. We chilled, and they effed me up. They effed me up. So, dude, I got a recommendation. I need to see if I can obtain that letter. I got a recommendation letter. Like I thought they loved me. You know, I got a recommendation letter from corporate from this guy that was like right under Matt and Ammon. And I won't say his name just so like people don't. I think he's still with Bricks and Minifigs from what I know. But he sent a recommendation letter to the landlord, right, on my behalf. And I was like, hey, I just need a recommendation letter. And he said that I was the Big Mac to Bricks and Minifigs McDonald's. That if Bricks and Minifigs was McDonald's, I was the Big Mac. That was a high compliment. And I showed it to all my employees. And for like 2 months, they called me the Big Mac. And I was like, the Big Mac has arrived. That's me. So like a lot of things like I had kind of going for me. I was like, like, man, got a solid relationship, all this stuff. And then boom, they send it over Josh and Brandon. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine playing Halo with a business owner and you guys are all chilling, shooting the stuff and speaking however you want to speak. And, they call you the Big Mac. Everything's chill. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, you don't have the proper numbers or you're thinking about selling the place. F you. Yeah, man. Freaking sucks. Freaking sucks. Franchisee recognizes that one of our primary methods of communication with franchisees is through the intranet. That's a typo right there. Another typo. I think we found like 17. Franchisee is responsible for knowing all the information obtained in the intranet. Maybe I'm stupid and maybe that's an actual word. Or they're dumb. I'm going to lean more to they're dumb, but I'm not that. My English is pretty freaking awesome. There's a few words I still need to learn. It's my third language, so we're good. And complying with any standards and specifications provided within them. We may establish, change, and update the operations manual through the intranet. Okay, cool. Oh, so I'm the idiot. Word. Intranet's an actual word. Thanks, people. Keeping me honest. Willie Nelson is in the chat, everybody. They could mean their business network. Yes. The private network. And Nicole Garner, intranet is local. Okay. Like if you use their portal. Sweet. All right. I'm the idiot. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Freak. Okay. We will have no obligation to maintain the intranet indefinitely. I hate this word now. And may dismantle it at any time. We will have no liability or obligation whatsoever with respect to any required modifications or discontinuance of the intranet. Also, we are not obligated to reimburse you for any loss of goodwill associated with any modification or discontinuance of the intranet. We may include pages of the intranet and identify participating franchisees, general managers, and vendors by address, telephone number, and email address. You will not have the capability or the right to modify the intranet. We are the sole owners and reserve the rights to access and use the customer information collected through the intranet. Access to the intranet by your employees should be strictly limited. You acknowledge that you are responsible for all product orders placed by employees through the intranet and agree to reimburse us for any and all unpaid purchases made through the intranet by your store. We may require you to purchase an and install necessary hardware, software, and other necessary additions to your computer system, and to establish and continually maintain connection within the intranet that allows us to send messages to and receive messages from you. Your obligation to maintain connection with the intranet will continue until the franchise agreement expiration or termination, or if earlier, until we dismantle the intranet. Yeah, dicks. Like and subscribe, people. Don't forget that. That sucks. Betrayal is always so easily to call out. In hindsight, those people have probably been fooled before too. Yeah. Like a lot of people, look, a lot of people are getting on the bandwagon without doing full due diligence and investigation on the McNeff's relationship with their father. As much as I don't like these guys, I did my own research. Their dad is not a good person. All right? He is not a good person. The things he did to his family, to his own family, and while he was at Bricks Minifigs and while he was with Legally Mine, they were right to remove him. I don't know which avenue they used to remove their father, but I would say, as bad as you guys might think Matt and Ammon are, their father's probably worse. I'm going to put it at that. The internet shall investigate. You will know the truth. But guys, garbage people around you everywhere. And unfortunately, some are going to be their own family or your own family. Yeah, similar to many FAs, especially in the case of privately owned franchises, where they usually include clauses that allow them any number of pretexts. Yeah. Pretext allowing them to find the franchise in breach and thus seize the store if they decide to. It's often more about establishing power and control dynamic. Yeah, you are correct. There's internet, and ion. Compensation for people brave enough to trust others. It shouldn't be so hard, but it is. In order to be compensated, you have to have money, even though they take your money. Well, if it helps, Ammon and Josh are extremely recognizable for all the wrong reasons. You are correct. I'm watching everything I can find. Yeah, they are all scum and smarter. Word. And hey, Thug Light. Hey, it's good to see you here. I saw you in the other chat. I saw you. Dude, have you read about Dan's Revenge Clause? It's the nastiest shiza I ever read. I have read it. It's one of the reasons I never want to see that guy in person ever. He is a poopy person. Dude, he had like a whole family on the side while he was married to, from what I heard. I might be getting my dates wrong, but he had a whole family on the side. And it might not have been his kids. Maybe it was like adopted kids, but while he was with the McNeff's mama. Yeah. Like, and remember, these guys also got kids. I don't wish anything bad to their kids, to other members of their family. Like they're probably going through the ringer because you're gonna be on your family's side usually, because you're not gonna be as in it as people here on the internet, and people got screwed. But it sucks. It definitely sucks, and it sucks for everybody. Again, I'm not trying to be nice. I'm just saying that everybody's gonna get hurt, regardless. Even after Ben wins, it's gonna be great, but we gotta remember, like, some innocent people are gonna be hurt, and it's like suing is like war. There's gonna be casualties. The innocents are gonna die, and there's no getting around that. You're gonna hurt people that were innocent in the process, and it sucks because it didn't need to go to war, didn't need to do all this if they were just honest. Yeah, a side piece, not side family, is wild. It is wild, man. If you default, it happens a lot in Brazil, by the way. Side families, not like a whole lot, but it exists. If you default under this agreement, fail to pay any and all amounts due and payable to us or our affiliates, or fail to comply with any other provisions of this agreement, we may remove information about your store from the intranet until such time as you. Yo, Toy Bounty Hunters in the chat. What up? You pay our outstanding obligation. You want a link to the stream? You let me know. In full or cure this default, or we may temporarily suspend your access to any message, aboard, directly online shopping catalog, or other features the intranet includes until such time as you fully cure the default. You must reimburse us for any and all purchases made through the intranet by your store. You acknowledge that you are responsible for all product orders placed by employees through the intranet. We will manage all social media relating to Bricks and Minifigs as set forth in the operating manual. We reserve the right to change you a pro rata fee in the future for the management of such social media. Records, reports, and financial statements. But if someone doesn't stand up to do the right thing, then we all fail. Thank you for talking about this. You're welcome. And yeah, and that's the other thing. One of my absolute favorite properties or franchises, whatever you want to name it, but I would just say series of books is The Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. Okay. That's where I would say the first time I really understood where the little guy can win. You know what I mean? But it's also important for everybody just to do their part. Do whatever part you can. Okay? I tried twice going after them the legal way. Got burned twice financially. Got burned relationship wise. So I no longer have faith in the legal system. I do believe, because of everything that Ben's got on his side, I do believe he can win. But if I were to sue him, I don't think I could. I honestly don't. So the best thing that I can do, or believe I can do, is just talk. Is just put out my story, keep Ben's story alive, put out all this information. And a lot of people don't believe me. Trust me, I get DMs and messages. The death threats stopped. At this point, they've stopped, which is nice. Kind of sick of reading those. But overall, I think I still get messages of people I don't believe your story, you're a scumbag, whatever, you should never go talk against Bricks and Minifigs, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, look, if you had the balls, why aren't you commenting on the videos? Why aren't you talking in the chat? Because you don't want a record of this. This is all DMs. These are all private. So feel free to comment. But at the same time, you're entitled to your opinion. Yeah. It's just people. Going to bed soon. Are you streaming tomorrow, though? I will be on the LUS show at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central. I'll be on the LUS show, and then if I'm going to stream, if you're streaming, so I was going to stream the Daily Drive. My co-host just canceled. He actually is in Utah. He's driving from Florida to Utah, I think, or driving somewhere to Utah. He's planning to move back. He lives out here in Florida. I just told him, just don't move to American Fork. As long as you don't move to American Fork, it's all good. I'll come visit you when I can. And I got a sister that lives out in Utah, also not in American Fork. She actually is really close. She's one city. Let me see where American Fork is, because I believe she's the next city over. So, oh yeah, she's in the next city over. They're touching. I'm looking at the map. Yep. So, fun times, but they're not involved with Bricks and Minifigs. Reports, records, and bookkeeping. You must establish and maintain a bookkeeping, accounting, record keeping, and data processing system conforming to the requirements and formats that we prescribe and as set forth in the operations manual. By the way, my bookkeeping was even better. It was extremely professional because I had proper accountants do the work. proper. You must prepare and maintain 3 years complete and accurate books, records, including invoice and records relating to your advertising expenditure and accounts for your store, copies of your sales tax returns, and these portions of your state and federal income tax returns, daily cash reports, cash receipts, journal and general ledger, cash disbursements, journal and weekly payroll register, monthly bank statements and daily deposit slips, and cancel checks, supplier invoices, dated cash register tapes, detail and summary semi-annual balance sheets, and monthly profits and loss statements. Record all corporate accounts and such other records as we deem appropriate as related to your store. All these books and records shall be kept at your principal address indicated on the first page of this agreement. Unless we otherwise approve, you acknowledge that we may require you to furnish these records to us. You must furnish to us reports relating to your store by the delivery method and in a form and content as we might have the right periodically prescribe. Oh, and by the way, Toy Bounty Hunters, just let me know if you guys are streaming. I'll probably hop on. Sorry if I couldn't hop on today. I was on Echo Base Network, and I thought your stream was going to go longer. So, my bad. But in addition, you must furnish us periodic reports which may include but are not limited to the following: gross revenue reports, monthly reports of gross revenues due at the same time that royalty fees are due, which is super easy to do. It's just the same report. But yeah, monthly financial reports within 15 days after the end of the calendar month, a profit and loss statement for your store for the previous month, and a year-to-date statement of financial condition as of the end of the previous month. Honestly, I don't know too many franchisees that were doing this part. I had the same accountant, so I just had them forward everything, all my P&L statements, but I don't see any franchisees doing this part from what I could tell when I looked over. Sometimes I had franchisees contacting me personally so that I could look over their books because either they liked my numbers or they saw when I claimed like certain how much profit we were making versus other stores. Like a lot of stores were making more than what we were making, but my profit was way higher. And so I would help every now and then some franchisees look over their stuff and give them my opinion on what they could do with their community, but like all just my opinion. And I didn't see a whole lot of people having monthly P&L statements being sent out or having them on file. Quarterly reports within 30 days after the end of calendar quarter, a quarterly balance sheet and income statement and statement of cash flow of your store for such quarter, reflecting any adjustments and accruals. Annual reports within 90 days after the end of the calendar year, a 1 year-end balance sheet and income statement and statement of cash flow. You and all of your affiliates develop, own, or operate Bricks and Minifigs stores, all prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, consistently applied, reflecting all year-end adjustments and accurate, similar information from all entity owners who have signed guarantees of this agreement. And 3, these summaries of financial information as we may require. Tax returns within 10 days after the returns are filed, exact copies of the federal and state income, sale, and any other tax returns and any other forms, records, books, and other information pertaining to the store as we have the right to periodically require. Other reports within 30 days of our request, such other information as we may periodically require, including sales and income tax statements, and a consolidated business plan for all Bricks and Minifig stores that you and your affiliates own or operate. All accounting and other reports shall use our then current standard chart of accounts and standard accounting methodologies and practices as outlined in the operations manual. Each report and financial statement will be signed and verified by you in the manner we specify. We reserve the right to publish or disclose information that we obtain under this section in any data compilations, collections, or aggregations that we deem appropriate in our sole discretion, including financial information relating to your individual store. We also have the right to require your financial statements to be audited at your expense by an independent certified public accountant approved by us. We have the right to determine the format and manner of submission of each report. In addition, we have the right to charge you a late fee for each delinquent report due to us as further described above. Also, we have the right but not the obligation to provide you with analytical and comparative store performance reports. The data we use to generate these reports are aggregated directly from information provided by franchise owners and third-party sources. You acknowledge that we do not warrant the reliance on the figures in these reports for your store. Yeah, and you think BAM's bad? You should see what 7-Eleven's currently doing to franchisees in Australia. Google it. You're the second or third person that's mentioned 7-Eleven in Australia. I didn't know I had an Australia following. Thanks, people. I can tell you're having so much fun, dude. I am about to make out with a double barrel. That's what I'm about to do. This is insane. Like, again, I say lawyers are all psychopaths, man. Every single one of them. To have this as a career, to reading so much like protective language, you gotta be unhinged or on the spectrum. You gotta be somewhat autistic to be a lawyer. I swear. I think that's the only way to get through this. But if you're a full-blown moron like me, like this is tough. This is tough. Like, it reminds me of when I was learning English. Here's a funny, like, I didn't like English when I first came to the U.S., right? Because all my American friends, they had like a TV in the room, and I didn't know what video games were, and they're playing video games, and like I remember my brother was like, "Yeah, video games are you could play like with the characters on screen," and I'm like, "Nah, you're not gonna get me. You're not gonna fool me, dude. That's crazy talk. That's nuts." And then my friends proved that video games exist, and I'm like, "All right, but like, why are we doing this during the day? Like, let's go play soccer or something." So I didn't really like picking up English. I picked up Spanish first because everybody that played soccer was either Polynesian or Hispanic. And I remember the day like it was yesterday, where my mom forced me to learn English. I was at the lunch. I was 8 years old. I was in the lunchroom, and and even as kids, Brazilian kids, you'll see we're eating with forks and knives. We always eat with a knife, you know. And I wanted a knife, and the term in Portuguese for knife is faca. That is the word for knife. And I told the lunch lady, I'm like, I need you to give me faca. I need faca from you. Give me your faca. Dude, did that go over terribly? I got sent to the principal's office. My mom got called in. She came in. First of all, smacked me across the mouth as soon as she saw me. What is it? Like, they're telling me you're cussing. What's wrong with you? And I was like, no, I just asked for a knife. I said faca. And then she was like, oh. And then she explained the situation to the principal. Then when I got home, I got beat even more. She's like, this is for not being able to learn English and making me come all the way out to the school. Like, you're lucky I didn't beat you right there. But later on, she told me that she like had to hold herself from laughing from the miscommunication. And then from then on, I had to, like, English was strictly prohibited in the house. So I still didn't speak English in the house, but I had to, like, when I come home from school, I had to spend an hour learning English, and at the dinner table for like every freaking day. I learned it. It was brutal. What is Streamlabs? Oh, Streamlabs So people could send super chats, but YouTube takes 30% of that, and Streamlabs is if you want to donate or tip or whatever, then 100% would go to me. I had it set up where like kind of had it set up where it would just send in the chat, but I guess you could do a pin, so it sends twice. But yeah, that's what Streamlabs are. The like for a lot of small creators that are just starting before they get monetized, they can make a Streamlabs account and people could donate before they actually have a big following. But also, it's another way to just bypass paying YouTube the 30% that all YouTubers are required. Well, yeah, I hear you, buddy. Getting a real education about doing franchise business. Yep. Yep. Oops. No. Yeah, that was. Aura! Good evening, Relic. Yo, man, I just offered our boy Toy Bounty Hunter to come on stream. You're welcome to come on stream, dude. You want me to send the link? Just let me know. Or you're going to go to bed. And yeah, I get it. It's a nighttime out here. So I'll definitely donate there then. Oh, thank you. I'm just happy. For Pink Queen, I'm just happy you're here. I'm just happy you're here. Happy I got to see you. In chat, hope you all well. Okay, good to know. 7-Eleven International bought the Australian franchise chain a few years ago for over $1 billion. And now they are letting the FAs expire and blocking the sale of the franchises. Interesting. Because, no, you're good, Aura. Because what happens if there's like a new CEO or new ownership of a franchise, what they usually like to do, they like to turn things all corporate. Or at least if they see a bad section or a bad territory or bad countries or states that like the franchisees are getting away with certain things, they usually like to transform all those into corporate locations. Or sometimes like a new owner will come in of an entire company and they just want to turn everything back to into a corporate location or back into a corporate stores or locations, just because it's easier to have uniform that way in the stores and leaving the ex-franchisees with nothing, despite their 750,000 to 1 million franchise buy-ins. Yeah, that sucks. You're no problem, man. And don't pay franchisee for the products. Yep. Yeah, 7-Eleven going crazy. Maybe we could send the 7-Eleven scandal to Reckless Ben after all this is done. Who knows? Who knows? He could expose 7-Eleven. Okay. The company's right to inspect the store audits inspections to determine whether you are complying with this agreement and with, oh my gosh, I'm going to blow my brains out. And with all system standards and whether your store is in compliance with the terms of this agreement, we and our designated agents have the right to any reasonable time and without prior notice to you inspect the accepted location and the store. Observe, photograph, and videotape your store's operations for consecutive or intermittent periods as we deem necessary. Remove samples of any products, materials, or supplies for testing and analysis. Interview personal and customers of your store and inspect and copy any books, records, and documents relating to the operation of your store. So this actually used to happen over FaceTime, where like the layout of the store, what it looks like, what's going on, which they have on tape, actually, because I did this twice, at least. And so what they're talking about here is really like secret shoppers. It happens. A lot of companies, if they don't have it very specific, they could just send anybody as a secret shopper. But you see, this is what like the language they use so they could send Brandon to inspect the accepted location, to observe, photograph, and videotape your store's operations for consecutive or intermittent periods we deem necessary. But here's the funny part. Remove samples of any products, materials, or supplies for testing as analysis. Did they remove any samples at Crystal Store? We don't know. Did they remove any products at Crystal Store? We cannot confirm, but they cannot deny either. It's the assumption, right? So this language right here, I think, is one of the most important parts of, or at least a important part of like what they're able to do to your individual location. So keep this part in mind. Right under the company's right to inspect the store and audits. This is really important for people to understand of how Brandon comes in and pretends to be a secret shopper, takes a look at the place, and sends information back to corporate. LOL. Ben will crack 7-Eleven wide open. Great idea. Yeah, we'll never know what hit them. And trust me, Ben is cooking. He's cooking some stuff, people. He's on it. He's on it. Okay, you must cooperate fully with us in connection with any of our inspections, observations, photographing, videotaping, product removal, and interviews. You also must cooperate fully with our representatives and independent accountants conducting audits. Oh, Zipra. How do I freaking say this name? What? Oh, Ben. Oh, or not that name. Zipra Japal. I'm a chill with Relic right now. Hell yeah, my man. Or woman. Stay up in here, man. Stay up in here. You must cooperate fully with us in connection with any of our inspections, observations, photographing, videotaping, product removal, and interviews. You also must cooperate fully with our representatives and independent accountants conducting audits. Remember this specific part, people. Remember, all right? It was fun chatting with Brian Mansell today about his music and drums. Heck yeah. Man, I should have told him I play drums. I actually do play drums. I'm kind of learning guitar a little bit, but I haven't really picked it up in a while. You shall maintain readily available for inspection by the company and shall furnish to the company upon its request at these locations as the company may reasonably request, including the company's office, exact copies of all books and records, tax returns, documents relating to the development, ownership, lease, occupancy, or operation of your store and of any corporation or partnership that holds the franchise, and shall afford the company and its agents at any time during business hours and without prior notice to you full and free access to these books and records at the store. The company and its agents shall have the right to make extract forms and copies of and to audit and or cause to be audited these books and records, and shall have the right to communicate freely with store employees. Okay. Remember, this is really normal language to have, but it's the way they're using it, right? Like, how well are they using this? Are they using did I just say agents? My wife's Asian. Maybe I said that. I don't know. Asians are top. So it's this kind of language that, like, it depends on how they're gonna go about it, right? Like, are they gonna go about it hostile? Like, hey, how's your freaking owner or manager? Like, do you hate him? Do you like him? Like, a lot of like the way they conduct themselves might be cause for you to counter them with all this stuff. But overall, yeah, they can talk to your employees. They can talk to you. They can come in, look at over all the books, all the records, everything. They could come in at any time, and that's just normal. But again, we see how they've operated. We see Brandon. He's a piece of garbage. He's trash. And Josh, 100%, is just a garbage human being. Just they're no good for no one. You shall fully cooperate with representatives of the company and independent accountants hired by the company to conduct any inspection or audit. In the event any inspection or audit shall disclose an understatement of the gross revenues of the store, you shall pay to the company within 7 days after receipt of the inspection or audit report the royalty and service fee and any other advertising contributions due on the amount of this understatement plus interest at the rate and on the terms provided in Section 3 from the date originally due until the date of payment. Uh, I still have right not to speak with inspectors. Yeah, but they're not gonna know that, man. Oh my gosh. Like Zippity Jew Job, whatever the name is. Ben's going after the new nemesis with Sheldon, by the way. I know. I know. I heard of the news. Heard of the news. On to the next challenge. Takes a lot of bad decisions managing your company if the freaking Wall Street Journal publishes an article about it. Yup. Yeah. I'm glad. But again, it's thanks to us, to you guys in the chat. That's why the Wall Street Journal picked it up, because this is big. This is much bigger than just like mishandled management, mishandled books. Like, it's just complete dishonest theft. It's a big story. RICO cases involved. Like, when was the last time you guys heard, even in Wall Street or big news articles, talking about a RICO case against somebody? Just the word RICO being mentioned, regardless if it's civil or not, it's a scary word. And it's a very memorable word, just by Hollywood. Like, I'd say Sopranos made that word famous for us plebs. Further, in the event this inspection or audit is made necessary to the failure of you to furnish reports, supporting records, or other information as herein required, or to furnish these reports, records, or information on a timely basis, or if an understatement of gross revenue for the period of any inspection or audit, which shall not be for less than 3 months, is determined by any inspection or audit to be greater than 3%, you shall reimburse the company for the cost of this inspection or audit, including the charges of any attorneys, independent accounts, and the travel expenses, rooms and board, and compensation of employees of the company. The foregoing remedies shall be in addition to all other remedies and rights of the company under this agreement or under applicable law. And then transfers / assignments. We're getting juicy. Wall Street story. You have to explain employees' WBO signs, their paychecks when hiring them. Yes, you do. But again, you can explain whatever it is to employee. Employees just there to clock in, clock out. If they hear somebody from big time corporate, they might say stuff. That's just is mentioned in the CoffeeZilla video about the U-Haul. Anyone trying to find the other Steyer he shut down? What? Takashi 69. Yeah, that was the last time I heard Rico. Last time I heard Rico was on when I watched Sons of Anarchy series. Yep. Last time I heard about the Rico, to my recollection. Yeah. Memorial Rifle is here. Hello, hello. Concerning Rico, legend subsequently arose about a notorious outlaw in California during the California gold rush of the 1850s, but evidence for historical Mureta is scarce. And in a disguise, store he shut down. Yeah. All right, let's get back to this super boring document, but important. Again, we just went over their right to investigate, to send store shoppers, or what's it called, secret shoppers and things like that. They're allowed to, if whoever has missed it, they're allowed to talk to the employees, like have meetings and stuff with the employees. What do you think of your boss? What do you think of the location? You know, so these little audits that they do. But anyways, transfer assignments by us. This agreement is fully transferable and or assignable by us, and will ensure or inure to the benefit of any transferee or assignee or the legal successor to our interest in this agreement. Restrictions on transfers by you. Your rights with duties created by this agreement are personal to you, or if you are a business, a corporation, partnership, limited liability company, or other legal entity, your entity owners, we have granted this agreement to you in reliance upon our perception of the individual or collective character, skill, aptitude, attitude, business ability, and financial capacity of you, and if you are not an individual, your entity owners. Accordingly, no transfer will be made without our prior written approval. Any transfer without our approval will constitute a breach of this agreement and will be void and of no effect. Transfer is defined for purposes of this agreement as the voluntary or involuntary direct or indirect transfer, assignment, sale, gift, pledge, mortgage, hypothecation, or other disposition, including those occurring by operation of law, and a series of transfers that in the aggregate constitute a transfer of any of your interest in this agreement or of a controlling interest in you. Controlling interest means an interest the ownership of which empowers the holder to exercise a controlling influence over the management policies or personnel of an entity. Ownership of 10% or more of the equity of voting securities of a corporation, limited liability company, or limited liability partnership, or ownership of any general partnership interest in a general or limited partnership will be deemed conclusively to constitute a controlling interest in the corporation, limited liability company, or partnership, as the case may be. Conditions for approval of transfers by you. If we have not exercised our right of first refusal, and if you are in full compliance with this agreement, we will not unreasonably withhold our approval of a transfer that meets all of the following requirements. Ooh, this is where it gets juicy, because this is, remember, Crystal's claim was that she has an opportunity overseas, and she wanted to know what it would look like her selling the store, and to somebody else or another franchisee, or even back to corporate, what it would look like. And this is the transfer part. Oh, Joaquin Muir, Carrillo, and Robin Hood of the West, RICO charges. So let's see qualifications of transferee. The proposed transferee and the individuals ultimately owning the transferee, if the transferee is an entity, must meet our then applicable standards for owners of Bricks and Minifig stores and have sufficient business experience, aptitude, and financial resources to operate its business and comply with this agreement. Also, the transferee must provide us on a timely basis all information we request. Again, this means that there needs to be an investigation on the person that is interested in purchasing the location or coming on as a investor or whatever it need be, which Bricks and Minifigs looks like they didn't do. They didn't talk to the person that's looking to purchase it. They didn't see if there was an actual entity that wanted to be a part of Bricks and Minifigs when it comes to Crystal Gorman's situation, from what I can tell. Right? Training. The transferee or its operating partner and its managers and assistant managers must have completed our initial training program or must be currently certified by us to operate and or manage a Bricks and Minifix stores to our satisfaction of obligations. You have paid all amounts owed for purchases by you from us and our affiliates, and all other amounts owed to us or our affiliates and third-party creditors. Execution of new agreement or assumption of agreement. At our option, the transferee either has signed our then current form of franchise agreement and related documents and is used in the state in which the store is located, which may provide for different royalties, advertising contributions, and expenditure duration and other rights and obligations than those provided in this agreement for a new term. And if the transferee is an entity, each entity owner of the transferee has signed our then current form of guarantee or has agreed to be bound and expressly assume all of the terms conditions of this agreement for the remainder of this term. and if the transferee is an entity, each entity owner of the transferee has signed our then current form of guarantee. Payment of transfer fees. You or the transferee has paid us a transfer fee equal to $5,000. If franchisee came from our lead database, you may be required to pay the then current referral fee to us plus any costs associated with applicable broker fees. Funny enough, before I even brought like I forgot that I did this. When they said no to the investor idea, so a lot of people, well, what they would do is they would go all the way to seeing if they're going to buy a franchise, and maybe they don't have the funds, or maybe they're not willing to take the risk yet, or they don't feel comfortable yet, and so Bricks Minifigs has approved them, but they never actually signed on to be a franchisee. Just they did all the process, and then maybe in the future they'll be a franchisee. After they rejected the idea of me bringing on an investor, I asked them, can you provide me with a database or anybody, can you provide me their contact information so I could contact people that maybe they don't want to own their own store, but they have the capital to invest and they could come in as a partner with me. I forgot that I can't believe I haven't mentioned that till now. And they said that they will look into it. And I said, like, you guys must have like a database of people who like maybe backed out or at least have the capital, but just don't want to be the only ones they want a partner or something like that. And they also never provided that to me. So I can't believe I forgot that. So much time has passed. Like every stream, every time I go on somebody's show, I remember something right after. Or at the time, as you guys see now. How you doing, Relic? Saul in Exile. I'm sure it isn't fun discussing a hard time in your life. Like, it's kind of fun now. Because, like, I get to meet you guys. I got to meet Echo Base Network. Camelot 331. Shout out to him. Awesome. And Origami, who's, I don't know if he's still watching. He probably fell asleep. And the Toy Bounty Hunters. I met a lot of good people through this journey. Obviously, like I don't know if you guys saw one of my first streams. I kind of teared up a bit. My bad. Didn't want to show a vulnerable side, but like the memories came back, dude. It freaking hurt. Like, can you, like, remember? My wife was 7 months pregnant when the store closed, and then my third son, was a week old when I got the phone call from the property manager being like, "Hey, you owe us $500,000 because there's no more store." What the hell? And I was flipping out, man. I was freaking out. I was able to save my house, which is fantastic. I had a new job at the restaurant, and I was just trying to get up on my feet. I was like, all right, this chapter is over. And when I heard that, man, it was like I didn't even tell my wife, like, right away. Only on the day that I told her, like, I took the day off so I could go clean the store. Then I told her the whole situation. And I said, don't worry, because she just had the baby. Baby was like 3 weeks old when I went to go clean the store. And her mom was in town and everything. And I was like, from South Korea, by the way. And I was just like, I'm not going to stress her out. I'm gonna come with her with a solution after the fact. I'm not gonna, cause any more issues at home. So it was, or bring any more issues. So it was, it was a tough time. It's a tough time. Anyways, more in Australia. Hope Ben goes after GameStop next. Who knows? I think it's quite convenient that franchisees end up owning corporate the same amount that equals their inventory. Right? Isn't that interesting? And by the way, my inventory was way more than what corporate tried to find me and everything. To the point that when I talked to Ammon, he said like, oh, we can reevaluate it. And if there is, and he said that if my inventory actually equaled more than what I owed plus the fines, the $7,000 fines, which I do not agree with, then there could be a monetary exchange, is what he said to me. But he never looked more into it. But yeah, okay, like a silent partner or an active partner. I would prefer silent partner. I would not prefer an active partner. Unless they had exclusive knowledge of brick and mortar retail specifically, and or they had a marketing company. Because then it's like too many cooks in the kitchen. Silent partners would be best. Because the thing is, we only needed marketing. That's it. What do you, Rizutsu Ronan, what job you work now? I actually still work at a restaurant. I work at a restaurant. Luckily I got monetized on YouTube. And every now and then, I'll go and like knock on businesses' doors, see if I could clean their carpet or something for like an extra buck. But yeah, it's and my hours were just cut at the restaurant, so it's been kind of freaking. I I've been starting to like sell pretty much all my Lego collection that's still new in box because I haven't been had time to open it with my kids and stuff. And I'm looking at like things that are around the house that I could sell, but yeah, like and I applied for a bunch of other jobs. Like yeah, like Target's not even hiring. They say they're hiring, but they're not even hiring. It's crazy. Like I'm okay doing whatever job. Like I never see a job as beneath anybody. I think if it's an honest job, then you should do it. You know. Like what did I do? I worked at the restaurant. And and I cleaned gyms at night right after the restaurant. I was working 80 hours at the restaurant, and then I would go either to a jiu-jitsu gym or like a regular gym where I was able to get the keys and get a job cleaning at night for like $10 an hour. Not really like glamorous or can support the family, but you know I'm working. I'm figuring it out. Figuring it out. It's hard to stop from all the way from zero. Partner lends you strength and support. Yes, it does. Nicole Gardner, Relic, mate. I'm sorry the world gave you lemons, especially with a newborn. Yeah, man, they were rotten too, but it's all good. But we got illegal Somalis running around with suitcases of cash. Man, I need to find one of them suitcases, man. Yeah, just hearing you talk about your store, it's obvious how much you loved it. And oh man, maybe next stream I'll try to figure out if I can make sure it doesn't lag. Maybe next stream I'll show you guys videos of the store. I actually, funny enough, the YouTube channel is still up of the Bricks and Minifigs, our location for the store. For the second location when we were building it up and doing reviews and just I let my employees kind of take over the reins a little bit. They're awesome, but yeah. You won't see Devin there. He hates being on camera. He came for the one interview, but he doesn't even want to be on social media. Yeah. BAM is all about telling franchisees, then squeezing them up unethical corporations. Yep. I hope you find something that works out. Oh, I found some. I just need like freaking $5 million of capital to enter this one business. Me and my dad are gonna enter business together, so which is a lot, and I hate finding investors. A real working class. Oh, thank you, man. My dad taught me it doesn't matter if you scrape poop for a living, you're gonna be the best poop scraper in the world. And as long as you like, when I was 20 years old, I asked my dad, like, I want you to teach me how to be a man. And he's like, you want to know how to be a man? Every day you walk out the door and you don't come home until you got money in your pocket. And I was like, I understood a lot from just that sentence. Like my dad's stories, man, if he did YouTube and if he just told his life stories, crazy stories. He'll tell you about how he quit drinking at the age 10, how he quit smoking at the age 10. He when he was 12, he worked at lied about his age, worked at a bank so that he could buy clothes and food and stuff. Yeah, like, and at that time, like, tanks rolled up at the bank that he worked at because like there was gonna be a civil war or something possibly happening. Like his stories are crazy. Yeah, and so, but they're funny, and he's a funny guy. You picked up poo and became a man too? Became a man today? Heck yeah. Bet it was your dog's poo. Bam and wrong. All right. Back to this bullcrap. Execution of new agreement or assumption of agreement. Did we already read this? At our option, the transferee either has signed our then current form of. We just read that. No, wait. Yeah, we did read that one. Provide different royalties, advertising contributions, blah, 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 blah. Assume all the terms. All right. Payment of transfer fees. You are the transferee has paid us a transferee of $5,000, blah, 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 with applicable broker fees to us. Okay. All right. Execution or termination agreement and or release. More juicy stuff. Used to be a manager at Legoland? No way. The Discovery Center here in Ohio, which is smaller than Big Amusement Park. And I missed my discounts on Lego sets. Oh, I had this lady come in once. She had this is for you, Pink. I had this lady come in once, and she worked for Legoland, and she had all the Christmas ornament minifig things in there. She had all these gifts that were only to Legoland employees. It was awesome, and she just sold it to us. It was great. Funny enough, we were closing, and she came in after close, and she was crying because she drove like an hour and a half away, knocked on the door, and I went over there, gave her a hug and everything. Said, everything okay? Helped the stuff out of her car, and yeah, like bought her stuff. Unfortunately, some of the stuff was glued. She didn't tell me that, but still good stuff. We used it for decorations and all that, especially on the Christmas trees. I've been shoveling manure since I could walk and hold a shovel. Word. Is that a euphemism for people? Execution of termination agreement and or release. You and your transferring entity owners, if you are an entity, have signed our then current form of termination agreement and or general release in form and substance satisfactory to us unless limited or prohibited by applicable law, which shall release us and our affiliates and their respective officers, directors, employees, shareholders, successors, assigns, and agents from any and all claims. Oh, man. Sweating here. Approval of terms of transfer. We have approved the material items and conditions of the transfer, including the price and terms of payment. Subordination. If you or your entity owners finance any part of the sale price of the transferred interest, you and the entity owners have agreed that all obligations of the transferee under any promissory notes, agreements, or security interest reserved by you or your entity owners will be subordinate to the transferee's obligations to us and our affiliates. Non-competition covenant. You and your owners must sign a non-competition covenant in form and substance satisfactory to us in favor of us and the transferee, agreeing that for a period of 2 years starting on the effective date of the transfer, you and your owners will not directly or indirectly, such as through members of his or her or his/her or their immediate families, own any legal or beneficial interest in or render services or give advice to any competitive business that is located in the territory. Any competitive business that is located within a 5-mile radius of any other Bricks and Minifigs stores in operation or under construction as of the effective date of this transfer, or any entity which grants franchises, licenses, or other interests to others to operate any competitive businesses and recruit or hire any person who is an employee of ours of any Bricks and Minifig stores operated by us, our affiliates, and franchisee of ours without obtaining the employer consent, which consent may be withheld for any reason. Landlord consent. If consent is required, the lesser of the accepted location consent to the assignments or sublease of the accepted location to the transferee. Okay. To the transferee. Okay. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Yo! I just saw the notification for Pink Queen Soup. Wait, Super? For Pink Queen, she just donated 20 on the Streamlabs side. You rock! Thank you. You, man, you're the best. Anybody donate, thank you. It's it really helps a lot. It really does. You guys help keep the lights on. For real. Where the freak was I? Okay, landlord consent. Okay, non-use of marks. And I got hearts, 4 pink hearts. No, this is nice. I hope I get to meet all of you guys someday. If I ever get big enough, rich enough, I'll do like a meetup or something. I'll have Echo Base Network with me. You have agreed that you and they will not directly or indirectly at any time or any manager except with respect to Bricks and Minifig stores owned and operated by you or them. Identify yourself or themselves or any of their businesses as a current or former Bricks and Minifig store or as a franchisee, license, or dealer of us, our affiliates. Use any mark, any colorable imitation of any of the marks or other indica of Bricks and Minifig stores in any manner or for any purpose, or use for any purpose any trade name, trade or service mark, or other commercial symbol that suggests or indicates a connection or association with us. Refurbishment. You or the transferee has agreed to any refurbishment of the store required by us to bring the store to in compliance with the then current standards and trade dress. Store operations. You have completed development of your store and are operating your store in accordance with this agreement. Agreement compliance. You or your owners and affiliates must be in compliance with the provisions of this agreement and all other agreements with us or any of our affiliates. Material terms and conditions. We must not disapprove the material terms and conditions of this transfer, including the price and terms of payment and the amount to be financed by the transferee in connection with this transfer, which shall not in any event exceed 75% of the purchase price for the assets or stock to be transferred, on the basis that they are burdensome as to be likely, in our reasonable judgment, to adversely affect the transferee's operation of your store or its compliance with its franchise agreements and any area development agreements and any other agreements being transferred, and and other conditions you and your transferring entity owners, if you are an entity, have complied with any other conditions that we periodically reasonably require as part of our transfer policies. You and your entity owners and affiliates must sign such other documents and do such other things, and we may reasonably require to protect our rights under this agreement and under any area development agreement in connection with any assignment permitted under this section. You'll provide us with all documents to be assigned by you and your proposed transferee for at least 30 days before signing. This is like so much word vomit. I swear it's easier reading the King James version of the Bible, reading Isaiah. It's even easier to comprehend. How is the Bible easier to comprehend than this bullcrap? Like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. It was kind of fun. What was fun, dude? Well, I'm in Florida, Bradenton. No way. Just tell me when you are planning on coming in my area. Bradenton is not a fan of King James. I only read King James, man, because that's the proper translation, and it's like every version has a different translation. They have like, yeah, I prefer reading it because it's like traditional Hebrew and whatnot. Let me see. Hold up, Bradenton, because I don't think that's too far from where I live, or maybe it is. Actually, never mind. It's like an hour away. Actually, man, when was the last time I went to Bradenton? I think I did some like power wash and cleaning work in Bradenton. I'm in the Tampa area, so not too far. Yeah, I'm in Tampa. So who knows? Well, like here, look, the only meetup I've ever been to was the Orlando meetup for Geeks and Gamers at Universal, and I think that like is a great place to do a meetup because then if people are coming out of town, they can take their family to Universal, hang out, and it could be a trip for their family, and we just happen to do it on the same. They just happen to book the flight on the same day there would be a meetup. But again, like even if you guys are like, if I'm ever like, I don't care if it's 5 people or 1,000 people. Like if I'm somewhere, actually here's even better, even better. If you guys ever want to go eat somewhere, go to the Rodizio Grill Brazilian Steakhouse in the Wesley Chapel area. That's where I work. On Fridays and Saturdays, I'm usually there for sure after 6. But if you save up a little bit of money, I will be serving you at your table all you can eat meat. Just go there. I think it's like $55 a person. But yeah, and I'll serve you guys food. Same only King James, but I have to look up many of the words, especially in Old Testament. Yes, you're gonna have to do that. Yeah. 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 I think it's worth it. I think it's worth reading old like English slash Hebrew. Like for instance, it's good to get the understanding of the culture of how it was in Israel and Jerusalem, right, and Egypt. Like what were the customs? You know, like a lot of people don't know like Jewish customs of sacrament. It was always diluted with water, so the wine. So water is a part of the sacrament. You know, like things that you wouldn't get unless you really studied, especially King James Version, and what it means, like the things about like getting to know, depending on the context. Yeah, like it's really interesting when you study quite a bit of it. And I have a long way to go. Okay, let's see if we get through this page before I like die of boredom and you guys all blow your brains out. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. But okay. Death or disability of franchisee. Let's see if they'll have the goodness of their hearts as they state to help you out. Upon the death or permanent disability of franchisee, or franchisee is a corporation or partnership, the owner of a controlling interest of franchise, the executor, administrator, conservator, or other personal representative of this person shall assign the franchise or this interest in franchisee to a third party approved by the company. And this disposition of the franchise or this interest in franchisee, including transfers by bequest or inheritance, shall be completed with a reasonable time, not to exceed 6 months from the date of death or permanent disability, and shall be subject to. So you only got 6 months to grieve, people. To all the terms and conditions. Wait. 6 months from the date of death or permanent disability, and shall be subject to all the terms and conditions applicable to assignments contained in paragraph C of the section, and to the company's right of first refusal contained in paragraph G of this section, provided that paragraph G shall not apply to transfers to members of the immediate family of franchisee or an owner of franchisee, or to transfers by gift, bequest, or inheritance. Failure to dispose of the franchise or this interest in franchisee within that period of time shall constitute a breach of this agreement. Pending disposition, the company shall have the right to approve the management of the store, and no person whom the company disapproves shall continue to act as a manager of the store. Special transfers. The transfer restriction in the section shall not apply to any transfer of the franchise among any of your then current owners, or to any transfer of the franchise to any member of your immediate family or the immediate family of a then current owner or franchisee. If you are a corporation, partnership, limited liability company, or other legal entity, on 30 days notice to us, you, if you are an individual or partnership, may transfer this agreement in conjunction with the transfer of all the assets of your store by an agreement in form and substance approved by us to an entity which conducts no business other than the store and other Bricks and Minifigs stores under franchise segments granted by us, and of which you own and control all the equity and voting power. The entity of which this agreement is transferred must comply with Section 7A and 7B. None of the foregoing assignments shall relieve you of your owners or your respective obligations hereunder, and you and your owners remain jointly and shall severely liable for all obligations hereunder. The company's right of first refusal. If you or any of your owners desire to transfer the franchise for legal consideration, you or such owner must obtain a bona fide signed bona fide signed written offer from a qualified purchaser, and must deliver immediately to us a complete and accurate copy of this offer. If the offeror proposes to buy any other property or rights from you or any of your owners or affiliates other than the rights under area development agreement or rights to other franchise agreements for Bricks and Minifigs stores as part of the bona fide offer, the proposal for this property or rights must be set forth in a separate contemporaneous offer that is fully disclosed to us, and the price and terms of purchase offered to you or your owners for the transfer of the franchise must reflect the bona fide price offered, therefore, and may not reflect any value for any other property or rights. We have the option exercisable by notice delivered to you or your owners within 30 days from the date of delivery of a complete and accurate copy of such offer to us, to purchase such interest for the price and on the terms and conditions contained in such offer, provided that 1. We may substitute cash for any form of payment proposed in this offer. 2. Our credit shall be deemed equal to the credit of any proposed purchaser. And 3. We will have not less than 90 days from the option exercise date to consummate the transaction. We have the right to investigate and analyze the business assets and liabilities and all other matters we deem necessary or desirable. To make an informed investment decision with respect to the fairness of the terms of our right of first refusal. We may conduct such investigations and analysis in any manner we deem reasonably appropriate, and you and your owners must cooperate fully with us in connection herewith. Oh my gosh, I can never be a lawyer. Legalese is a headache, but it all serves to identify power of parties and liability conditions. I hated reading your chat because it sounded just like a contract. F you. No, I'm playing. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm willing to answer them. I want to take a break from reading. I'd rather answer your guys' questions. So chat, do what you do. Let me get some water. No questions, people? No questions? No. Nothing? Okay. Dream says, I'm a little behind in the stream. I just heard about where you work. That made me so hungry. I would go. Yeah. By the way, so just a little bit of background. Like I worked. You live 3,000 miles away. Where do you live? What state? What state you live? Um. Yeah, like I've been. I worked in the same restaurant. This one's brand new, but I worked at the one in Utah, Charlie Square, around 10-ish years ago, maybe 11, something like that. And I got trained there in Texas, Brazil. I was the grill master. I was Oregon. I have a cousin in Oregon. I think she lives in. It's close to Eugene. I think she lives close to Eugene. Um, no, Portland. She lives in Portland. Um, but I was trained as the grill master, so I cook all the meats, and I also serve the tables. Was a bartender. I've never drank a day in my life, but I was a bartender. And funny enough, my uncle in Brazil, he also never drank. He did drink before he got baptized and stuff, but he was a bartender when he in his early adulthood, and he was so good that people would fly in to the city of São Paulo where he worked at to taste his caipirinha. And his nickname was the Beethoven of caipirinha because he didn't drink the drinks he made. He didn't drink at all. So, but he apparently he made some of the best caipirinha there exists out there. Okay, okay, cool. The questions are in. Questions are in. Fun fact. Let's read the fun fact by Real Old Bird first. Through work, I have met Lego owner Christiansen a couple of times. The meetups was about environmental issues. Lego's very passionate about that. Lego's also passionate about a lot of things. What's your favorite Lego set you own or sold? My favorite Lego set that I currently own is the Rivendell set, I think. But I've always been a mock guy. I've always built my own creations. So I still have, and I have to bring it down here. I have mine and my dad built a Naboo Starfighter that it's bigger than minifig scale, but my dad would bring Legos home when I was a kid, and we would build them up usually on Sundays together. And my favorite Star Wars ship was the Naboo Starfighter. We built it together, and I have it till this day. From when we built it when I was 8, 9, something like that. And I have like a deep connection with Lego. And I've modified it a little bit with the new pieces that have come out over the years, but I still have it. Actually, my favorite Lego set, I'll tell you guys a funny story. So as a kid, when I got bored, I would just yell. I'll just make a noise or something, just for kicks and giggles. And there was one day, I was climbing in the pantry. The cookies were at the top. I wanted a cookie. We were getting ready for church. I was the first one ready. I went up to go get a cookie. And, remember those big, giant, fat boy vacuums? I fall off from the top shelf. My big toe goes right in between where, you press the button to bend the vacuum down. And it crushed my big toe. And I started bleeding a lot. And it hurt like hell. And I was yelling. And my dad was yelling for me to shut up. I was 10. He felt so bad because those dad steps. If you ever lived in a 2-story home, where when your mom or dad is mad at you and they're just coming. Those rhino steps, right? They're coming out, and I remember him yanking the door open of the pantry and just looking at me and then the light, and I'm just because he told me to shut up and keep quiet, and my foot was just covered in blood. He grabbed me. He felt super bad. Took me to the hospital. Luckily, I didn't need stitches. We got back. I had a bandage. I just hung out, and I remember my mom sitting me down because I was like, "Where's Dad?" He's like, "Hey, look, he got you a gift. We don't buy things on Sundays usually, but your dad felt really bad." And then he bought me the Batman set with Killer Croc, and he was in a bat boat, and the Killer Croc is chasing after him in his jet ski. That's probably my favorite official set ever. But yeah, there's a little story for you guys. Did you like the brick and mortar type store business? I walked into a Warhammer store. Warhammer's different last week, and I was shocked at how dead it was. How do some of these businesses survive? Warhammer's actually different, super different. Okay, the Warhammer stores are sustained by the Warhammer community outside of the stores that don't usually go in the stores because they're like almost I think every single one of my employees were into Warhammer. Every single one. I never got into it because I will ruin my life. I get extremely obsessive over things, and I study like that details. Um, and that's why like if I'm a big fan of something, I usually know a good amount, or at least I'm studying a lot. So the way Warhammer is structured is anybody that likes Warhammer, they'll come in and buy. So the employee's job, you probably notice he doesn't really talk to you. He says welcome in maybe, and then he like stays to himself because Warhammer owns that spot, and all they want to do is just have a spot where people can go and congregate, maybe ask questions, hang out, but it's not for the employee to make sales. It's a very interesting business model that they have because people are gonna make their own 3D models. They're gonna do wars. They're gonna have battles, and it's really different. It's really cool. I thought, yeah, come over here. Maybe you got some time in Florida. It will be fun. It'll be awesome. Okay. K&Q Visuals. It's always good to see Oregon is where I plan on moving from Florida after I graduate with my degree in a few months to a year. I would say that's a bad idea. If you live in Portland, let me know if you know a Brazilian named Silvinha or Sylvia. If you do, then that's my cousin. You do it all, haha, good. Don't drink. It's not that great. I don't ever plan to. Knee pain. I haven't seen you in a minute. My oldest is a bartender. He recently had to dry out because he was letting the life get to him. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope he's doing all right. But it's good to see you, knee pain. And seriously, like, I'm glad I was taught. And it wasn't just for religious reasons. One of the reasons why I didn't drink was my grandfather at age 50 passed away. He from liver damage and kidney damage from drinking. But my dad also thought it had to do a little bit with depression. But like he was never like a drunk, you know. But yeah, like just the stories. Like I never got to meet my grandfather on my dad's side, so it's like it was one of those things. Like there's juice, there's things that taste really good, and I didn't even like the smell of beer or anything. So I'm like, oh, I'll never drink. It was a pretty simple decision for me. Yeah, I don't really like the laws of Oregon, so that's why I probably never go there. But yeah, yes, it was out. It's a great thing to be able to build your own creations with your dad. I loved watching our Lego Master build, but I have to follow instruction books. I get you. I get you. Not bad for me since my company will run on tax-free profits, great nature, and legal weed to fuel my creativity. Word. Just don't adopt the Bricks and Minifigs business model. Yeah. Well, why so sad? Why so sad? I will stay if you open up another. Dude, what store? Okay, look, K&Q Visuals. I do plan on opening something up. I need to find an investor, and me and my dad will be business partners. Either one of two things need to happen. Okay, I need to either secure $5 million somehow, or find an investor. Okay. Very hard to do either. Investors more likely. But it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Depression and addiction often go together, yeah. Yes, it does. That you lost your family to drinking. Wait, somebody. Oh. Did I read that wrong, knee pain? Did you actually had to dry out? When you say dry out, like he's on the road to recovery? Because when somebody says, your scripture said that you lost your family to... Oh, to me? Okay, my bad. Yeah, it happens. People make their own decisions. My bad. Like, I usually, the way my brain works is that I usually think that, like, if you say something like, "I'm sorry that you lost your family to drinking," I usually think it's somebody else, and I want to go make sure somebody else is okay, because yeah, like, it's just how my brain works. So sorry, my bad. Hope you and your family having a blessed week. I hope so too. Our dishwasher broke and my wife is pissed. I was like, broke? Your hands are fine. She wasn't too happy with that joke. But yeah, there goes the neighborhood. Yeah. And dishwashers are expensive. Yeah. So the week is going by all right. It's going by all right. I'm doing all the dishes. Yeah. You're a Magic the Gathering nerd. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh nerd. Lego's never been my thing, but we nerds gotta stick together. Yes, yes. I love Magic the Gathering for a second. It got way too expensive. Every month I needed to buy a new set. It sucked. But I did get one of those. Is it called a God pack once? It was awesome. I got all the enchantment creature god enchantment creatures that were like gods. It was cool. R2 sometimes. Relic is gonna make an appearance in Shark Tank. Yeah, no. No. I'm good. Calling me a nerd, fool? You too? Vape nerding? You want to talk? Have to dump a couple of girlfriends? Is that GFs due to alcohol abuse? I can't put up with it. Oh, yeah. I can't imagine, man. Yeah. I can't deal with like, the funny thing is I love being around drunk people. It is the funniest thing to me. It is so funny. Like, I was always everybody's designated driver. So I got to see them act in strange ways and divulge information they should not be divulging to the people they were divulging it to. I've never, like, I think anybody that's known me or even met me through YouTube, they know that I never divulge any phone calls I have, or any information that we talk in private, or anything I hear. I just don't like gossip. I hate gossip. But funny story is a funny story. After it's no longer gossip and like time has passed, then it's just a story. But yeah, play limited events every few months, and I play online. You want to know something funny? I play Yu-Gi-Oh every week with Devin, one of my old employees. We're just good friends now. And he plays Magic the Gathering, but I call him a loser for doing that. It's stupid. And by the way, we will be ending the stream pretty soon. That's why I'm not reading anymore. Because also I'm tired of saying all those words. My company I started will be used to help new artists find their footing in the paid design world. Oh, cool. Another way of giving back as a Army veteran for other design students. Dude, awesome. And thank you for your service. Thank you. I truly do appreciate it. It's one of the things that, like, I don't regret, but like I do kind of have like dreams of what it would have been like to be in the military, to serve in the United States military. I have a lot of friends that are ex-military. They're almost all usually good guys. I have one friend that's a total dick, but he's a douchebag, but he's my douchebag. Wait until you get around drunk soldiers and sailors. I've been around them. You're a double D too? Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, Dungeons and Dragons. Gotcha. I was like, why are we talking about bra sizes, man? This is crazy. It's so fun and satisfying to make sure they get home safe. All right. Was it Dungeons and Dragons, or I'm completely off? My bad. When I saw Double D, I was like, what? We're talking about bra sizes? This is nuts. What's it getting into? Hey, Relic, respect the grind you're putting in on the streams, brother. Thank you. I will. Designated driver. My bad. My bad on my bad. My bad on me. You should start a new Lego company called Brick by Brick. That's not gonna happen. I love like I actually have thought after this whole debacle happened of reaching out to Lego and seeing if they wanted to make a franchise department. Cause I was thinking of ways like how can I destroy Bricks and Minifigs, and I was like maybe I can get a contract with Lego and start training people on how to run a franchise, and it would be an official Lego franchise. I started thinking about that, and I started even drawing up a business plan and what I would do. And I had some connections up in Denmark, and I was trying to see if like it never got anywhere, never got to any high level. I was like, man, maybe I could get an interview with the CEO. Maybe I could present this to him because Lego doesn't do franchising, and be a way to corner that resale market, especially in the U.S. But yeah, like I kind of gave up on that because I didn't have time. I had to go work. Got to pay the bills somehow. I play a lot Call of Duty. Call of Duty. Only time I will be in war. Heck yeah. The benefits and pay are good, but the BS you put up with sucks. I'd rather watch Dragon Ball Evolution. Dude, that's a huge not compliment. That's a huge Dragon Ball Evolution, man. Thank you for the laugh. You're welcome. I got a streaming again. I think you should do it. Oh, we're about ending. I will. I'll read the rest here, but like we've hit the 2 hour mark. Your streams are great, but hard to explain to my friends why I want to listen to someone read business contracts. Tell them about the double D scenario. If Lego got into resale, that would impact BAM. It would impact everybody, man. They already own Bricklink. They would determine the reseller market. Well, Lego, it would be a monopoly essentially. Well, Legoland isn't even owned by Lego. It's owned by Merlin Entertainment. I did not know that. Yep. Dream Studios, Jason. Oh my gosh, hi. All right, everybody. We have to end the stream here because Streamlabs will just kick us out automatically. But thanks for everybody being here. Thank you. It's been awesome. You guys are great. And remember, like, I'm only here because of you guys, and I want to keep Reckless Ben's story up alive and well. And in the future, I will be able to divulge some more information that I'm working on behind the scenes that I'm not divulging to anybody, but I'm working on some big stuff. And I'm trying to help some people with their stuff too. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. Dream Sigils, you're great. For Pink Queen, you're great. Everybody that's here, y'all are great. Thank you. Good night. We out. I'll be on LUS tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central. Okay? How it got ripped off at a very vulnerable time with kids on the way. Yeah, no, it's fine, brother. Thank you. I hope I provide enough entertainment where you like being here for the entertainment and not just for feeling bad for me. I appreciate the pity, but I want to provide you guys with good content. I don't want to waste your time. But thank you. Thank you for being here, guys. Good night.